Hari Om Tat Sat. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Diwali meditation and Satsang. We will begin our 5-day sadhana with a meditation, and then we'll follow it with a short Satsang, a small, a short, potent conversation specific to Deepawali. And yes, a welcome to your families as well. So please feel free to include your family members and your dear ones in the practice and the session. So me, okay. So we will begin our meditation. Find a comfortable space, sitting in a posture, a meditative posture of your choice. It doesn't have to be a Padmasana or an Ardha Padmasana. You can sit comfortably with some back support. We're looking at sitting in meditation for at least 15 minutes. Spine straight, but not too tight. Shoulders relaxed. Face soft. Gentle smile in your heart, reflecting as a smile on your face. Begin with taking 3 deep breaths in and exhaling with a sigh. 2 more times. We will begin our meditation by asking ourselves a few questions. Who am I? Who am I? And it's okay if you don't know the answer to this immediately, because this is a good time to begin your dialogue with the universe or with yourself. What do I want? What do I really, really want? Answers may be physical, physiological, emotional, financial, ethereal, anything, whatever it is that your heart and soul strongly desires. What am I here for? What is my purpose? What is my swadharma? How can I help? How can I serve? Again, allow the answers to spontaneously rise. Whatever comes up is okay. What am I grateful for? What am I thankful for? Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow these questions and answers to lift up off you and floating out as seeds into the universe. For the Divine Mother, the universe, the consciousness, to work on and manifest in your life. Now bring to mind your Guru Mantra if you've been initiated. Otherwise, think the mantra Om. Om. Repeat it mentally and continue repeating it. Remember that there is no particular speed or rhythm or pitch to your mantra. You think it just easily and effortlessly. You may occasionally find yourself getting distracted by external sounds, thoughts, body sensations, and that's okay. The moment you realize that that's happening, bring yourself back to your Guru Mantra or Om. If you find yourself seeking a particular experience, remember that there is no particular experience. And if you find yourself feeling that way, gently bring your awareness back to your mantra. Continue meditating. I'll watch the time and let you know when to come out of your meditation. Hari Om. Now stop thinking your mantra and sit comfortably with your eyes closed for a few moments. Watch your breath. Become aware of your body, of the boundaries of your body. Become aware of the space around you. Tell yourself that you are safe and safely meditating in your space. Bring your palms together to heart center. Rub your palms together till they're nice and warm. And place your palms on your eyes and on your face. Looking into your palms as you very gently and slowly open your eyes. Namaste and welcome back. Happy Deepawali, happy Diwali to all of you. Today is essentially the second day in India, the second day of Deepawali or of Diwali. Diwali is celebrated over 5 days. On the first day, that was on the 13th, we celebrate it as Dhanteras. Okay. Dhan, as many of us who are in here and as well as on YouTube, those of us who are from India or from South Asian communities would know that Dhan refers to wealth. And this is a day when most people, when they're celebrating, yes, they clean their houses and all of that, but they also go and buy something, buy an ornament, buy jewelry, or buy gold, silver, or even utensils. Now, the purpose of this is it's symbolic in a way. The ritual is a symbolic ritual that indicates the incoming of abundance or invitation of abundance in our lives. So it's either gold or silver or any kind of jewelry or a utensil for food, because at the end of the day it's food that will sustain you when you have to live, and food will give you a good food, will give you good health, and health is wealth. The same word dhanvantari, dhan, is also present in the name Dhanvantari, Lord Dhanvantari, who is the god of Ayurveda or the god of health. So, you see, all of our festivals, everything is connected with various myths and stories and legends, which actually are nothing but symbolic representations for people to understand philosophy or greater spirituality at a time when their consciousness could only absorb mythical stories. So there's this time when the asuras or the negative forces and the devas were in battle or combat, and you'll find that anything in our mythologies are always talking about the asuras and the devas. So there's always this conflict between negative and the positive forces or the energies. And in essence, what that is referring to are the negative and positive forces that are in ourselves. That's it. And we all have these asuras, those are our negative qualities. And we all have the devas also within us. Devata is not necessarily a god. It's not someone who's someone else, someone up there in the skies sitting like one godly person. No, they're not those. Devatas refer to beings with light beings. they also have their own qualities. That's why you'll find in different stories you have Lord Indra, who has all his flaws, who will be, chasing after something or the other, or he'll be jealous, or he'll be angry. And that's because Indra refers to our enlightened mind, or our mind that is getting enlightened. Okay. So in this fight between the asuras and the devas, and there are lots of different stories that combine and get together to the same thing. There is this time when they say, okay, what we'll do is we will get together and churn the ocean of milk, which is known as Kshir Sagar. Kshira refers to milk. Sagar is the ocean. So the ocean of milk. Let's churn this huge ocean of milk and get this elixir of immortality that's within. And this was an idea given by the or by Vishnu to them, and saying, okay, this is how we can actually defeat the asuras without us actually defeating them. So what they did was they took the great cosmic serpent, Vasuki, and who went around this huge mountain as the churning, whatever that's called, I don't remember what it's called now, um, tied her body around it. One end of the snake was held by the devas, the other end was held by the asuras. And they started pulling. If you've seen a traditional um, churn, where you churn to get your butter, and then from that butter you make the ghee, you go this way with it. So it's almost that. So they were churning from both sides. And this great big ocean of the Kshir Sagar, which has everything in it, starts giving out its gifts. Okay. And the first gift that comes up in this process of churning was poison. And from all the Mahashaktis or the Mahadevas, the only Mahadeva is Mahadeva who could take in this poison, because anyone else would perish. And that's why Lord Shiva, who's also named as Neelakant, Neel, Neela refers to the, or means the word blue. Kant refers to neck. So Shiva has this blue neck because, as per the legend, he was the only one who could actually take in this poison, because he is beyond the gunas. He is beyond rajas, tamas, and sattva, and he could actually hold all of this poison. So he drinks this poison and his neck turns blue. Different legends. In some of them, we've got Parvati who comes and holds his neck, saying, "No, don't let the poison go and reach Shiva. I need him." And but no. So that's the reason he's got this blue neck. So once the poison's taken care of, now the churning can yield other gifts. And one of the first gifts that came out of this churning of the mind of Kshirsagar was Dhanvantari. Lord Dhanvantari came out, bringing in the gifts of health and wellness. He brought in, he in his limbs he had the Shastras. In some images, he's got the Shastras, or a book of scriptures in one of the hands. In older traditions, he's got a box of leeches. And those of you who are familiar with Ayurveda will know that one of the principles of Panchakarma in Ayurveda is bloodletting, where leeches were used to remove the toxicity from the system by placing these leeches on the skin. Today, only in very, very traditional spaces you have leeches. Otherwise, they use more contemporary methods of bloodletting to release any excessive toxic blood in the system. And after Dhanvantari, many other things also came through, but Ma Lakshmi came through. Okay, Mahalakshmi also came out of this, of the churning of the ocean, but she came with a pot of a particular elixir. It was not necessarily Soma, but it was Varuni. Varuni is a very particularly intoxicating drink. Okay, now she first had Soma with her, and what the Asuras did was they completely, forgot the alliance that they made with the Devas, where they said, we'll split the Soma, the elixir of immortality. He said, okay, 50% for you and 50% for me. But they're Asuras, right? They say, hey, we've got it now. Why don't we just take it all? Okay. So they took the Soma, and then Mahalakshmi comes in and she's got Varuni. Now, she is always, like we've also seen in our Dasara in our Navratri sadhana, we said that whenever there is adharma or no righteousness, unrighteousness in the world, Parvati will come. She will come to liberate us from that adharmic situation. So the asuras took the soma, and then what happened was they saw this beautiful, resplendent Lakshmi coming through, and they had this desire, this lustful desire to own her. Okay. And she recognized that because she is the divine mother and she knows what's going on in both the asuras' minds and the devas' minds. And because they lusted after her, she also offered them Varuni, this deeply intoxicating drink, which they had. And then she took the soma from them and it was given to the devas. Okay. In other words, the immortality was offered back to the devas, who were supposedly the right people to receive it. Now, what is this myth about? This myth is nothing but a story about our mind. It's about our mind that is constantly this ocean of milk, this ocean of positivity and negativity and everything there. But it also has all the qualities that we require to transcend ourselves. Transcend ourselves where? Now, after Dhanteras, there is Dhanteras is also known as Trayodashi. Trayodashi refers to the 13th day. Trayo, 3, Dashi is the 10. So 10 plus 3, Trayodashi. The day after that, the second day, which is today, is Chaturdashi. Okay, Chaturdashi, 14th day. Chatur referring to 4, Dashi 10. Also known as Narak Chaturdashi. Okay, now both of these days are so in India, the festival is celebrated widely. It's celebrated widely by not just Hindus, but we've got Buddhists, we've got Jains, we've got so many people celebrating it, and also people from other cultures or other religious faiths, Hindus and Muslims, who will also, sorry, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, everybody will come together in India to celebrate this festival, even if they don't go and do the rituals around it, but they do come together as a community to celebrate with the festivities, with the food, with the sense of well-being, with the sense of goodwill to each other. So all of that happens. It's a festival that brings people together because consciousness is not religiously bound. Consciousness is something that's available to all of us. Now, why and what happens in Chaturdashi? So when all this mind is churning, Chaturdashi has a very specific relevance as to why it is a consciousness based practice. You see, the purpose of yoga or the purpose of any of our spiritual pursuits is spiritual evolution, which means that we need to get away from all of those things that are limiting us to this is mine, this is I, this is me, my clothes, my family, my tradition, my belief, something that is all ego based, identified with ourselves, to identify with something higher. Now, how do we identify with something that is ourselves? We identify that with our senses. And dashi refers to the 10 indriyas that we have, the 10 jnanendriyas, or the 5 jnanendriyas and the 5 karma indriyas. That is our sense of sight, our sense of smell, our sense of taste, touch, hearing. Those are our 5 jnanendriyas. And the karma indriyas are those parts of our body which effect those changes. Once we transcend all of those and once we have them in control, where we are not slaves to those senses, then begins the path of spiritual evolution, which means that is when we start working on the 4 aspects of our antakarana. That refers to our mind, which refers to our buddhi or our intellect, which refers to our chitta and Brahman, the whole. Okay, all of this together is what is considered or what is called as our antakarna, and those are the 4 parts. So the 10 plus 4 parts of Chaturdashi are when we transcend all the asuras. As long as we have these 14 parts, any part of these which are active in our psyche, then there is impurity. There is impurity. And if there is impurity, there is no way we would transcend. I just want to see something for you here in my notes. Um, there was something that I needed to tell you about. Okay. No, I've already told you that. Okay. I remember telling you I need to tell you something. Okay. So the four parts, which refers to our manas, that's our mind, our buddhi, our intellect, our chitta, which is our the repository of everything, the discerning, not the discerning part, but the repository of everything. And most importantly, in our mind resides our ego. Okay, the one that identifies with everything. If we've got anything which holds us back in this, then we are still stuck. Now, that's why Diwali is nothing but the festival of lights, because it ignites the light within us to shine light on these impurities in our body and our mind and transcend it. Okay? And to transcend this, if or before we transcend this, if we don't transcend any of these, we go through a phase of hell, right? That is, we identify with all the pain and all the suffering that comes from uh, any of our physical sensations or any of our body needs, requirements, our bodily um, attachments, as well as a mental, physical, physiological, your psychological, your emotional, any of these baggages also tend to draw us down and bring us in this position of hell. And that's where the word narak also refers to. Most people think narak, those of us who know Hindi or any of the regional languages, will say narak is hell. But Narak is not necessarily hell. Nara refers to the human being, okay? And Ka refers to all the identification with all the negative qualities of it. So it's bringing, it starts making you feel like as if you're in hell, okay? And this period of churning our mind brings out the very first thing we experience when we start to detoxify is all the toxins that come up, all the discomfort of sadhana. And that is what this period is all about. This is a period of cleaning up so that we can beautify. This is that period of that the entire Choti Diwali and everything that we do before is the preparation phase when you're still cleaning up everything, because you need to welcome Ma Lakshmi in to bring in that abundance and that light. Abundance not just of health and wealth, which she will give, but also abundance of a purity of thought, abundance of our spiritual kindness. So, our message over the first 2 days of Diwali is to really cultivate that sense of giving. Because, like we saw in Dasara, Mahalakshmi or Lakshmi, even as the goddess of prosperity, not just the Mahalakshmi or the Mahashakti, she comes into our homes to give us prosperity of health, wealth, abundance, and all of that. But that is not just for us. It's not just for me and my family. It's not just for me, my father, my mother, my husband, partner, spouse, children, my pets, my home. It's not just for me. We are a part of the whole. That's what yoga is, right? So for these 2 days, the idea is to give, and that's why our homes, which are usually abundant with food and sweets at this time, is not just to appease the goddess, but to bring into us and to cultivate in us the sense of kindness and giving, which includes those around us. So this Diwali, while we are isolated, from many of us are, and while we still think that what, let's keep it simple and let's just stay with our family. And yes, you need to build those connections, but don't fall into the trap of thinking that because you're saving the environment and not bursting crackers, you'll be keeping it nice and cozy by staying only with your family, that you're actually celebrating or bringing in the spirit of Diwali. The spirit and the true spirit of Deepawali would be to bring light to those around you who need that light as well. Because every person, even someone who you do not know on the street, is your neighbor and is your family. We all share the same prana. We all come from the same source. So everyone around us is our family. So, our closing thought these, for today's meditation, for today's satsang, and drawing in from Dhanteras and Narak Chaturdashi is an opportunity for all of us to overcome and transcend the Narak that we live in, the hell that we live in, by extending our abundance, our goodness, our kindness to those around us. See if you can bring a smile to someone else outside of your immediate family this Deepavali. And see how the abundance of the universe of Ma Lakshmi comes into your heart and your homes, because that is her true nature. So, from my home to yours, because we're all one, I wish all of you a very happy Diwali for all these 5 days. And I will wish you every single day as well. So, on that note, Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. If you have any questions and you don't have to run, I'm free to take them. Otherwise, you are free.
Happy Diwali, Lina.
Happy Diwali, Akshaya, is it?
Yes.
Yes, hi. Happy Diwali. Akshaya, I have an answer to your Shaligrama question which you had
Ah,
asked me.
oh yes.
Yes, you had asked me during Navratri sadhana,
Yeah.
and my teacher just gave me the answer yesterday.
Wow.
So the thing with Shaligrama is that they are naturally formed objects, okay,
Mm,
that have all the aspects of divinity, as opposed to something that we make. For example, when we make a murti or when we make an idol, or when I said, I think you were referring to the time when I said we don't need to have a special Ishta Devata or a god, and we can keep anything, even a stone in front of us, and we can see the divinity in it. That's the time you asked for it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is when the mind is still looking for something to say, I will focus my attention on this. Okay. But Shaligramas are different. They are ordained, they already have the essence of it. Okay, they do not need us to give it the essence. They already have the essence of divinity in them. For example, the shankha that we have is also a shaligrama. Okay, the conch.
Mm.
Okay, but even the shaligrama, because um, they are rocks and stones that are acted upon by nature in a particular way, and they have a certain spiritual essence in them. So that's how they are different. Okay, and they carry the energy of divinity, they carry the energy of that particular devata or that particular shakti in them.
Ah,
Okay, so that is
thank
it about the shaligrama. Thank you. Right. So thank you everyone for joining me, and I will see you all tomorrow. Namaste.
you.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Lavina.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheetal. Good to see you or see your